Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dylan Nossman here with Calf Kick Sports, and I have the honor of being joined by a very special guest today, OKTAGON MMA Flyweight Champion, making his first title defense this next Saturday, Sam Urai Creasey. First of all, thank you so much for joining me, man. How are you doing today? How are you feeling ahead of the first defense?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. I am feeling surprisingly good at the minute. Surprisingly good. I'm about to come into weight cut week, so that's always unpleasant.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know how that feels. It's never fun, but the hard part before the fun part. So
absolutely.
Many fans are probably aware of you from your long stint with Cage Warriors, 18 fights with the promotion. You know, you were the champion over there. You fought a who's who of fighters over there. What prompted the switch to OKTAGON before your last fight, obviously? And, how has it been fighting for OKTAGON, probably the hottest promotion in Europe currently?
What prompted the switch? I would say probably just a little bit of staleness, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there a long time. I love Cage Warriors for everything they've
Mm-hmm.
done for my career. They gave me the platform to go and show the world who I am. But having fought for the title however many times, already lost to Shaj previously twice. It's a hard sell to get a third fight for him again. And having just won 2 fights, I felt like this is the same path we're on, and it's going to be a hard sell. 1, but 2, my brother had just joined the division, joined Cage Warriors, so I felt like it was a good time to take a little sidestep. And I had noticed that OKTAGON were back in the UK, and Aaron was waiting for this fight for a long time. So I said, let's throw my name into the hat. And here we are. OKTAGON, they've been amazing. Really looked after me very well. I really enjoyed the differences in how they run their promotion. It felt like just a different world, if you like. They bring a lot of extra production team with them, a much bigger crew, and it felt good to just be out of my comfort zone, if you like. I love Cage Warriors, but I know how it runs. Almost down to a T, having spent so many years there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think all the fans are very, it's very evident OKTAGON is doing a lot of good things right now and bringing a lot of good fighters into the fold. So, as the current flyweight champ, I mentioned you you won the belt against Aaron Abbey back in April of this past year. You're now taking on Beno Adamia, a Georgian fighter on a very hot streak right now. Really turned his career around. I'm sure you're familiar with him. You were scheduled to face him previously. You guys have a couple shared opponents. What are your reads on this matchup? And, do the, potentially shared opponents like Stipe Miocic, mean anything to you, or is it kind of its own individual matchup and you're just focused on Adamia?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you can look on paper, but MMA maths just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to say that against Stipe, I landed a perfect punch and a perfect, submission in the shortest amount of time possible, and I couldn't replicate it if I tried.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen him fight since, and I know he's a tough fighter. So that MMA maths doesn't really kind of like work for me. But he's a tough guy. I've seen footage of him. I saw his fight with Stipe, and I'm expecting him to come to bring it, and he's going to want to take that title.
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask about your nickname, Urai. Does that come from a heritage place?
So
did you get that, or did you want me to repeat that question?
No, sorry, I got it just about. It's something that I kind of came up with myself a while ago. I've been wanting to grow my hair out for a long time anyway. I did that eventually. I've got Chinese in my background. And so there's the Asian connection, if not the Japanese connection. But I felt it kind of it went with the kind of persona I have and the way I look at martial arts was kind of like that samurai spirit. So that's where the nickname came around, and yeah, it's stuck.
I love it. Um, and obviously your brother, I've seen he goes by Tom Chung Creasy, and then another fighter in the UK, the British Isles, Loney Kavanagh, is very open about his Chinese heritage as well, represents that well. What does it mean to be able to go back to those roots and represent that while also representing England, especially on a large stage like Octagon?
It feels like it's a path that I was supposed to be on, if you
Mhm.
like. I came to
Yeah.
martial arts late, and
Mhm.
I feel like this is what was missing from a lot of my life in general. The ability to train martial arts, and I feel like that kind of spiritual warrior side of things suits me down to a T. And I want to go out there and represent both the
Mhm.
UK and the Chinese, or my Chinese heritage, on the world stage.
Mhm. Yeah, it's amazing. So I've spoken a couple times now throughout the interview, but you have a brother, Tom Creasy. He's actually
Mhm.
booked currently to fight coming up at Cage Warriors very soon as well. Um, what is your guys' relationship like as combat sports athletes and martial artists? Do you guys spend a lot of time preparing together? And how is it for you both to be preparing for fights around the same time and be able to kind of work with each other in that way?
I'm very lucky to have him. He's the person who got me into martial arts in the
Mhm.
first place. I wasn't interested in it. I
Interesting.
told him I
Yeah.
didn't want to do MMA. I was not.
Mhm.
I thought it was a bit fake at the time. He didn't let up. He dragged me into the gym eventually, and
Mhm.
he's been my training partner since day one, and he's still here today. We're both consistent. We don't ever stop, and we can be, because we're brothers, I guess we can be so much more honest with one another about
Mhm.
about how things are. Other
Yeah.
people will see that and possibly be a little shocked with the way perhaps we might speak to one another, but
Mhm.
it's because it's so real. I don't want him to 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 go in there half-hearted, or
Mhm.
anybody to be feeding him bullshit. I need him to go in there and understand, like you're on form or you're not.
Yeah.
And he's the same with me. He won't ever let me like
Mhm.
have a slip up.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're both very lucky. I'd say I'm the luckier guy. If anybody's ever trained with Tom, they
Mhm.
would know and probably say that he's the better fighter. But
Mhm.
I'm very grateful to have him by my side always.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes you need that person who's going to be brutally honest with you and let you know exactly how it is, because they're the ones who want the best for you at the end of the day. So, yeah, relationship's very special. Sorry, one second. Oh, there we go. We're back. Okay. So this is your first time fighting in the Czech Republic, if I'm not mistaken, fighting in Trinek, where the Octagon is based. You're headlining the card up at the top next to David Cosmo, one of the biggest Czech stars in all of Octagon. How does it feel to be kind of going to Octagon's home country, where probably the biggest fan base is? And what do you hope to, show the Czech fans and introduce yourself to them in
I'm
person
excited.
as?
I'm excited. I've wanted to do these big shows for many years.
Mhm.
Um, my job is to entertain, and I want to be on the biggest stages, and this is going to be one of those moments that I
Mhm.
can look back on in 20, 30, 40 years time and say this is something I did.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, it's going to be a great event.
Yeah. Absolutely. Outside of the cage, you've spoken a lot on your passion for your animals. I know you have a wide variety of four-legged friends who live with you on the daily basis. Um, and you've also spoken just on your love for self improvement and improving your life through martial arts and otherwise. What does the average day look like for you? Just training, living. What does that kind of day in day out look like?
Um, a lot of family time. We all wake up together.
Hmm.
Then we go
Hmm.
into our little routines and that. But I try to, do something with my daughter in the morning, do something with my wife. Then I'm out, most likely with the dogs, before my first training
Hmm.
session. Into my training session, a little bit of feedback with a coach. Get back, look after the house, go for another walk, probably another training session. cook some food for the family, spend some time together, another training session, and
Mm-hmm.
then probably taking my daughter to one of her clubs or something in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
or coaching myself.
Nice.
That every day, I'm very stuck on routines. I find that very
Mm-hmm.
useful for me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as I'm spending time with them and like being a big part of their lives, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like the life for me. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. So, I've noticed you've Octagon's also spoken just on social media about the fact that you coach at 4 different gyms in your area. How much has coaching helped you as a fighter, just seeing the game from that perspective? And how do you hope to impact the sport, once your fighting days are done? Do you hope to, open your own gym, corner fighters from other gyms? What's your kind of long-term goals outside of fighting?
Um, so I would say I'm probably so into coaching because it's been so difficult or it was so difficult for me at the beginning to kind of try to catch up to everybody else in this sport.
Mhm,
Um, and at the time, I felt like we were missing a coach. That's the biggest thing that we
mhm,
were missing. We had experience through other other forms of martial arts through other different
mhm,
people, but nobody who really knew what it was to do MMA and what it really meant. Um,
mhm,
so that's how I fell into coaching by accident, just by finding people from other gyms, sparring with them, training with them, and then bringing it back to my own gym and showing what they
mhm,
showed me or taught me or give me a lesson in.
yeah.
um, and so that's where my passion for coaching came from, and that is probably where my life will end up post fight career. I think I'm gonna
Mhm,
probably open my own gym. I'm gonna probably be looking to carry on doing like seminars, like every month or so, just to kind of feed out as much knowledge as I
mhm,
can. Whether that's specifically for MMA, but even weight cutting and even nutrition stuff that I was missing at the
mhm,
time, and I've been through every single diet I could think of, and on my little on my little road to figuring out what works for
mhm,
me. Um, but I want to give back, and
yeah.
so eventually it will be coaching. It will be giving as much advice as possible and watching the new age go
Mhm,
and turn their lives in a different direction, perhaps.
absolutely. So, semi on that note, you go out, you get a win next Saturday in Treenick. What does 2025 look like for you? How many times would you like to fight? Do you hope the Octagon makes their way back to the UK at some point? I know they got their schedule, kind of lined up right now, but what does it kind of look like for the future moving forward, post victory next Saturday?
So God willing, I'll win. Um, I would like to be out again two more times this year,
Hmm.
ideally, being as it's so early in the year. I would love Octagon to come back to the UK. I would like to be a big part of that and like try
Hmm.
and put on one of these big stadium shows in the UK. Try and sell that out, get some real, a real big audience behind us.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm enjoying the process. I'm going to enjoy this show in Czech. It's going to
Hmm.
be massive, and I'm going to be the main event, so I get to enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, last but not least, do you have any coaches, sponsors, training partners you'd like to thank? Have been really pivotal for this training camp.
My coaches, all of them,
Hmm.
every single one of you that I train with, has helped me massively and always do help me. And it's more than just watching what I do. It's just being that reassurance and that supportive nature of them.
Yeah.
That goes the same with all my teammates. Like I try to tell people when they're in the gym and that you must look after your teammates because they're the people who you need to get you to the next level.
Hmm.
So I'm very, very grateful for everybody who is in the gym, in and around the gym, supporting me, pushing me on, and trying to help in any way they can. My family for just allowing me to follow this journey and being a support on the way.
Hmm.
And then all my sponsors, without you guys, it's very, very difficult to do this sport by yourself. So for your help, I thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody make sure to tune in on Octagon TV or RTL Plus next Saturday, February 22nd, to watch Sam Creasey defend his flyweight title for Octagon. It's going to be a fantastic fight against Beno Adamia. And once again, thank you so much for joining me today. Best of luck in your first title defense next Saturday.
Pleasure, man. Thank you very much.